Hello, everybody, and welcome to Oulton Park for the third and fourth rounds here of the Coco Beach Bar Championship in association with Jack Ashton Racing. It's MX5 racing here for the next few rounds, right up into the end of January, where we'll be racing 2 races per afternoon. And we're very much looking forward to I think anyway, some of the best racing you can have in iRacing. It's myself, Ian Delirium, and James Parfitt with you here this afternoon for this one. And as I say, James, I personally don't think there's any better racing you can have than MX5s. We've got a circuit pretty well suited to it here at Oulton Park, Foster's Layout. Instead of going left there at Cascades, we're going right into this sharp right-hander and then cutting through the chicane. I think we're in for a good evening of racing, a pair of races here this afternoon.
Yeah, we are. We've got 2. So we've got qualifying, which is what they're in now, or 2 laps. Then they've got a 15-minute race. Then we've got a 15-minute race with a full reverse. There's no warm-up in the middle. So they will literally go from one race to another. As you said, the slower the cars, the better the racing. These MX5s are great for this circuit. You know, we've got a good number today. We've got 17. We don't really want any more than that because it can get a little bit messy. But I think overall, these guys are going to be very, very interesting in seeing how they get in. There's a couple of people, obviously, that we know from outside of this. Obviously, Joel Singleton, Tom Weston is also here as well. You've got the likes of Graham Matthews, Jimmy Newen. These are all people that I've seen previously around before. So this could be very, very exciting today indeed. And I'm interested to see how this all goes down. I think this corner could be where the chaos lies.
Yeah, I think so. It's the Foster's corner, of course. It's only used on this layout when you're cutting through, as I say, from Cascades, which is turn 3. Instead of going left, you sort of go a bit straight on, and you've got to get on the brakes very, very quickly indeed before slowing up for that corner. It's only 1 2/3 miles around here, by the way. It is a very short circuit, so you're probably right that this is we wouldn't want to be getting too many more numbers than this, to be honest, because otherwise it could feel a very, very busy indeed. And especially in race 2, where we should say there is a full reverse grid. Race 1, which is coming up in just over 5 minutes time, will obviously be set by this qualifying session that is just coming to a close at the moment. Everyone only gets 2 laps, so I'd imagine that everyone's pretty close to being done with this session now, but race 2 is where the problems really could lie, over just 1.6 miles.
Yes, race 2. Oh dear. Whenever you bring a reverse grid in, it's very exciting. When you bring a full reverse grid into it, yeah, chaos can commence. We've got Patrick in YouTube chat. Good luck all sitting this one out. He's got man flu. So poor old Patrick has got man flu here this evening, or this afternoon, I should say, really, because it's only midday over here in the UK. But I'm interested to see how this goes. We've got a wide variety of driver level. So this could be very, very exciting.
Yeah, I mean, these times, though, are relatively close in qualifying at the moment. Singleton and Weston only covered by 64 thousandths as things stand. And the slipstream, which you get in the MX-5s, which really helps keep things very close together, I think is going to be a big help to everybody as well. This is Steve Webb and Andrew Ogley are both making their way up towards the line at the same time here. They are 2 of the last drivers to finish their times. Ogley goes to pit lane. Webb continues on and goes into 4th place. Should probably tell you about the other rounds, by the way, because we are joining here for round 3 and 4. Should probably tell you about the other rounds of this championship. We've already had 2 races at Summit Point. That happened last week at races 1 and 2. Next week, we're not here. It is the Christmas break from next week and the week after, but we're at the Tsukuba circuit on the 5th of January. So we'll be racing from about midday UK time on Sunday the 5th of January, and then racing every week to the end of January. So Oulton Park for races 7 and 8. Very much looking forward to that, by the way. I like Oulton Park. Lime Rock Park is next on the 19th, and then it's Okayama Short on the 26th. So that's the calendar we've got. It's a very familiar MX5 calendar, if you like. If you've done the MX5 racing recently, and I know that people watching this may have graduated from rookie class in iRacing quite a long time ago, so may not remember it. But if you've done the MX5 racing recently, you recognise that that's a very familiar calendar, and maybe that will be to the advantage of some of these drivers who've done MX5 officials racing a little bit more recently, and they will have done some of those circuits a bit more recently, because they're not very well used outside of MX5 racing, really.
They're not. And the one I'm looking forward to? Tsukuba on the 5th, baby. I love that circuit. It's such a go-kart circuit that it will suit these cars down to the ground. They're going to have an absolute barnstorm of a time at Tsukuba. I think it's just going to be absolutely epic. Looks like everybody has done their qualifying, so we do have to wait, unfortunately, for the times to run out, unless, of course, it gets advanced on. But let us know if you are here, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on the bells if you are here for the first time. And if you're not, well, welcome back.
Yes. Sometimes iRacing does move on its own, doesn't it? If nobody's out there on the circuit,
Yeah.
so maybe. But also sometimes people like to sort of go out again and practice, if you like, after, even though they know they can't set any more qualifying times. They, if they're allowed, of course, in the rules, they go out and drive around for a bit. Just practicing a little bit before the opening race. Both races here this afternoon, by the way, are going to be, just to give you a full rundown of the format, are going to be 15 minutes timed. So we'll have race 1 with this grid order you can see on the left-hand side coming up next, and then the full reverse a little bit later. 15 minutes is not too long, to be honest. It's a decent amount of time. I think decent length for this kind of racing, and indeed, iRacing has decided to bump us along a little bit, so we won't have to wait for the last minute of qualifying. I suspect that might happen quite a lot this season. I feel like the circuits are this kind of length, so we might well see that again. Joe Singleton, though, has taken the pole position in a very early morning race for him. John Weston is alongside in second, with Valdes Vansevius in third. Then it's Steve Webb, who's fourth, ahead of Nicholas Green and Andrew Ogley on row 3. Then it's Eric Ocean and Yanis Theophanopoulos. Then it is Graham Matthew in ninth, ahead of Jeremy Hall. David Wang and Michał Stupolkowski is in 12th place, ahead of Gerald Werner and Ben Gregory. Jimmy Nguyen and William Antonelli are on row 8, ahead of Matt Warner, who didn't get a representative time on the board, I would say, down in 17th. Let's get this race underway. The Coco Beach Bar Championship here in association with Jack Ashton Racing from Oulton Park, set to get underway, and it is a decent start from Singleton by the looks of things, as he just gets ahead of Tom Weston in towards turn 1. Pretty nicely done. Vansevius into third place, just in behind, followed by Webb and then Green, Ogley. They're all single file, actually, very single file out of the first corner, on the run down towards Cascades for the first time.
Yeah, the great start from Singleton. I can tell you now, Graham Matthews has had a bit of a drama. Stupolkowski has also had an issue as well, as Joel goes and has a little bit of a blink. So we're going to have a look back at what Graham Matthews got himself up to. He is there in the black. Whoa, he's a passenger. He was a passenger. I think Gerald Werner might have had something to do with that.
Someone's come, yeah, number 2's come across him there.
That's not Gerald Werner, is it? That is Jimmy Nguyen.
He's hit afterwards, Werner. But yeah, so Nguyen was just watching from behind. He was on the inside here.
Couldn't quite work out who it was. Was it Stupolkowski?
Hard to tell. No, he's in number 88. So,
he's in the middle. He gets into Matthews. Matthews then goes in to the number 12 car, and then unfortunately it all goes a little bit wrong after that. So not the greatest start in the world from these, unfortunately, today as well. The software does not want to put us back live today. It's great, but we've got Joel Singleton and Tom Weston out in front at this moment.
Yeah, so the leaders have gotten away quite well, and there's still a top 3, maybe 5 out front right now, but down at the back, I'm afraid it's a bit of a town of woe for some, which are holding on to the lead rather well though after taking that pole position a little bit earlier on. This is the group for 6th place between Ogley, Orchin and Theophanopoulos, then in towards Druids, the long right-hander, and he gets through indeed on the inside down there at turn 7. So he moves up to 7th place. Meanwhile, side by side for the lead, Tom Weston looking for the pass here on Joe Singleton. and it's a decent run for Western out of the final corner. Will be alongside now as they get towards the start-finish line. Half a tenth between them as they cross the line itself onto lap 3, and Western wasn't late enough on the brakes there. Singleton goes round the outside and holds on to the lead.
Yeah, it's very, very close as well. Valdez has been behind that as he's coming on the run down into the right-hander of Foster's now. This is such a difficult corner. I've driven that corner so many times in the Clios. It's so hard to make sure that you get that right and don't run into the person in front. But these guys doing a great job with 12 minutes on the clock. Singleton, Western, Valdez and Webb all in the mix at the moment. Everywhere else is a little bit more spread out. But these guys having a great little battle at the front.
Certainly are. On board with Western in towards Druids. And he's going to take advantage of that. Singleton goes wide on the exit, and that's a gift to Western, who will move through on the inside line here, and he will get into the lead. So Tom Western capitalises on a mistake there from Singleton, and he now leads in the end of lap 3. Then Bud Sivius is just in behind them in 3rd place, and you can see Webb and Green trying to catch up as well. They sort of are with these guys battling, but not too quickly. They went their way through turn number 1. We'll see how long Western can hold on. It is always difficult in the MX-5s. There's so much slipstream given off in these cars to those behind you that it can be very difficult to hold everybody else off.
Yeah, that's the problem. I think you get such a run. But the only good thing is Oulton Park is Oulton Park. It's thin. It closes you in. You know, there isn't a lot of room up through the start-finish straight. And generally, these cars are quite small, so they are able to go too wide. The problem is, like they are now, through the left-hander, it tightens up. Then coming into Druids, it also gets a little bit narrow as well. So they've got to be careful. Through the right-hander they go. Western sitting in 2nd. Singleton, great move round the outside, but they are bringing Webb and Green into it. So it could end up being a 5-car fight for the lead.
It was very close at Clay Hill there with Singleton. He got himself on the grass trying to take that position. Green, meanwhile, has got himself down the inside the final corner. He's through. Oh, Smoke, meanwhile. Is it? Oh, it's the stupid gravel. I'm not a big fan of this gravel business. It keeps going onto the circuit. I think someone's blown their engine. Anyway, in towards turn 1, everyone's okay. Side by side for 4th. Green and Webb going side by side. I mean, it would be a crime, to be fair, if Nicholas Green didn't select the green car, so I think you can work out who he is. He's got himself ahead of Webb, and just as they were catching the front 3, they have battled with each other, and now they've got to do the catching again.
Yeah, they've dropped to about a 2.5 back behind Valdez, unfortunately, on that one. And then we've got Yanis down here at the same time. He has got Andrew Ogley in front of him, so Yanis chasing down Ogley now. But you can see up front here, side by side with Western and Valdez as they're going through the right-hander. Are they going to be able to make this work? They can, but it's getting very, very close indeed here. They're going to have to be careful and going to need to be very, very... They haven't got long, so they need to stop battling to get hold of Singleton again.
Yeah, basically, and it's very dangerous as well when the leader can get a gap like that out front, so they do need to get organised here a little bit, but if they do, they certainly would be able to catch up. So let's see if they can in towards turn number 1. Don't forget, Singleton and Western were separated by only hundredths of a second in qualifying. They are very similar on speed, but with no slipstream now, is Western ever going to be able to get back on terms with Singleton here? Or is Singleton going to be able to take the first race of the afternoon in towards Foster's? He's got a little bit wide, and Western looks like he's got sort of the same run. Not sure why he's in like that. He's now 9 tenths behind. Really close enough to get a slipstream. He is getting rid of Van Sivius though, a little bit behind him.
Yeah, Green's also closing in as well with 1.4. It's now 1.1, so they're slowly getting back onto the guys in front at the moment. Great action here as well. There has been a few other little dramas. William Antonelli has also been off the side of the circuit, unfortunately, as well. I do love the fact that the liveries, I think the liveries makes it very, very easy for us to identify people, apart from the ones who are all in the same.
I know, 3 of the top 5 are in the same. 4 of the top 6. Oh dear. It's, everyone's taking. I mean, the orange one probably just the best, so I can't blame them. But you know, it isn't a massive help. I would be very appreciative of it if I was a driver, though. I've got to be honest, because I hate making liveries.
Yeah, they drive you crazy. I just normally pick one out of Trading Paint, so I get my good friend Mr. Kenny Bourgeois. I said, Kenny, and he goes, what do you want? What car? I go, there you go, mate. And he'll go, okay, I'll get on it. Like, I've got the new Gen 3 supercar livery as well, which looks absolutely amazing. So big shout out to Kenny for doing that for me. Singleton, Weston, Valdez and Mick Green with Webb. Green and Webb are dropped back about 2/10 at this moment in time. And unfortunately losing a little bit of contact, but Ogley and Yanis are still nose to tail. Matthews and Gregory are battling away as well. Green's off.
Yeah, it's that battle with Webb in 4th place. Green has gone off the road, I'm afraid, and it's just a spin on his own. He's helped round at the very end, but he was going round anyway on his own there, so not ideal at all for Green, who is now down in 8th place. Everybody moved up a place then, and there's a battle for 5th place as well as the ones we were already seeing. Fiafanapolos and Ogley as well in the battle. So a couple more are just popping up now as we're past halfway, by the way, 6.5 minutes to go in the first race.
Yeah, Matthews is having a nice little battle down here as well, recovering from his opening frappe that he had nothing to do with. Unfortunately, he was just an innocent bystander and then got literally royally off the side of the circuit. But Matthew and Ben Gregory are having a nice little ding dong a little bit further on as they come running down through Denton Cascades and into the right hander of Foster's. Welcome in, Amelia, welcome in as well. Thank you so much for joining us here this afternoon. So nice little battles developing this full reverse grid. This is going to be interesting for race number 2.
Yeah, it certainly is. And even though it is a full reverse grid, and a lot of drivers got caught in an incident early on, I'm glad to say that everybody has continued on after coming into the pit lane. Sometimes when you get a full reverse grid, you think, well, or you get some people anyway, you think, well, I won't drive anymore now because then I'll get a better race 2 maybe. But everyone's out there regardless, and that is good to see. This is the battle for 11th place. I think all these guys were delayed in the opening lap incidents. If they didn't have to come to the pit lane, then certainly, as I say, a little bit delayed. But anyway, Ben Gregory is at the front of that group. It's the biggest group in the field now, although the leaders are in traffic. Singleton has gotten past that purple car there, which is not involved in this leading battle, and Weston hasn't yet. And the feeling here that Singleton's really starting to control this race with 5 laps to go. Yeah,
Stopakowski that is as well. Chris, I can safely tell you, no, it's not. It's on the side of the cars there, Chris, so that's where I got it from. So I've learned how to spell Coco because it was on the side of the cars. But thank you very much for that. It's not. He's just retracted the message like, actually, James, I've realised it's not actually spelled like that. So yeah, but great battling. All the same. Weston Valdez there, and as I said, that is Stopakowski who was involved at the beginning on that one. So Stopakowski is now just being lapped. Graham Matthews, Ben Gregory having a nice little battle as they're coming into the right-hander at Lodge. There goes Gregory. He's gone for the dive and a half up the inside. Is he going to be able to make this stick? Don't get on the power too early. And he did do it. Ben Gregory come from a long way.
That was a very good overtake indeed. Graham Matthew demoted a place. Probably wouldn't expect him to either. Ogley, meanwhile, has got... Oh dear, Webb has got some damage. Steve Webb on the front end there. It's all been going on here. And so the battle is now for 4th place as Ogley gets through. Let's see how it happened here.
Got a funny feeling it might have something to do with Stopakowski on this one. I'm not entirely sure. I have only just... It is...
So, Joyce. Oh no! Oh dear. Well,
that's where that happened.
Yeah, Webb got into the rear end, I'm afraid, and that is that as far as his top 5 goes here. He is now down on pit lane, as you'd expect. Battle for 4th place, meanwhile, between Ogley and Theophanopoulos here in towards Cascades, and he gets through. So does Warner, by the looks of things, up to the top 5. So Andrew Ogley briefly was into that top 5, but now he's been demoted. Matt Warner is suddenly there and looking racy as well now, with just 3 minutes to go, 3 laps to go when they get to the line. Good chance here of maybe stealing 4th place away as well.
Yeah, Weston's under a bit of pressure from Vardas here. This is going into, we're going to have one on maybe 2-3 laps still to go, because we're 2:45. Could be 2 Stupakowski's off the side of the circuit on that rejoin. Pat, we know. Don't forget, these are all different mixed abilities, so there are a lot of people still learning. We've got IRs from 2.8 down to 529, so they're all still learning, Pat, and this is the purpose of it, but they're all having great fun while they're out there, so, you know, we can't be too harsh, Pat. We would normally. You know, Ewan is a stickler for rejoins. He gives them grief all the time.
Not really. It's a bit unfair. Battle for 4th is still ongoing. Ogley has lost the slipstream of these two. He's now got Green behind him. Oh, that didn't last very long. Green goes through into 6th place. So after that spin earlier on, Green is recovering some of these places, but just running out of time to really recover them all. He's up to 6th place though, and Ogley back down to 7th. Meanwhile, Warner looking for a move. I think he does look a little bit quicker here. It's about whether he can actually make the overtake here in the time remaining. 2 laps to go at the line. He's looking at the inside here and might well get through in towards that final corner. Brakes pretty late. He's on a very tight line, but that doesn't seem to matter, doesn't seem to bother him. He is through into 4th place. Good overtake from Matt Warner. And he moves up another one with just over a minute to go. Yeah,
great little overtake there as well. Sent it up the inside, got the car stopped and did a great job in the process. However, Yannick is not letting him go here. He's putting him under pressure, dropping down the hill through Denton's now. And these cars still battling out. Yannis is losing a little bit of time, probably about 2 tenths through that little bit of a section alone, and it is a difficult section. You can see in the back, Vanna and Gregory are also having a nice little ding-dong for these boys at the back of the grid. They're fighting out, not leaving each other. You can see his battles all the way through here, and we're going to get one more lap. Singleton's going to go over and take the checkered flag this time around, the white flag this time around. It's still anybody's to play for, and it looks like Gregory and Werner still going hammer and tongs at
it. Oh, that was close to me. And Gregory very nearly rear-ending Werner there into the turn 4 into Foster's. Gets away with it. And continue on with just seconds remaining now in the race. It looks like Singleton's going to take a pretty good victory here, though, as Matt Warner has made his way through the field quite nicely up to 4th place. This will be the closest battle on the circuit, quite a long way back from the leaders.
Yeah, the Singleton's on his way now through the left-hander up through Clay Hill and Watertower, and we're on our way down to Foster's, the right-hander at the base of the hill. So we've still got Singleton's going to be over the line well in advance. Weston is still under pressure, started coming down. It was down below that half-second mark. It's now gone back out. It's imperative Weston holds in there, coming down this little bit of a straight, but it is going to be Joe Singleton who's going to wrap up race number 1.
Certainly is a pretty dominant victory after he got back through on Weston, but he stamped his authority late on and he wins the race. Round 3 of the Coco Beach Bar Championship is going to go to him. 1.8 seconds the gap at the line ahead of Weston, who's going to win this one for 4th place. Matt Warner has done it by the looks of things, just hanging on in the end, and that's a very good drive, I've got to say, from him.
Yeah, absolutely stunning drive from him. Green battled his way back into 6th after his earlier spin. Werner and Gregory are not done yet. They've still got a little bit of a run. Can Gregory get him going down into the final corner? Doesn't look like he's going to be close enough. And unless he goes and... No, he's not going to send it from there, surely.
No. Into the final corner is the answer to that. And these guys are the last ones to finish on the lead lap. Go over the line, 11th, 12th and 13th. A few more to go across the line in the background. Sapokowski, unfortunately, a couple of laps down, actually. And it looks like Antonelli not going to get over the line at the end here.
No.
What happened there?
He had a little bit of a drama towards it. Yeah, he had a little bit of a drama towards the end of the race. So, unfortunately, it all went a little bit wrong.
Yeah, so, oh, hello. There's the the results of the opening race. It's Joe Singleton who wins by 1.8 seconds ahead of Tom Weston, with Van Sevius in third. Matt Warner fought his way up to fourth ahead of Yanis Theofanopoulos. Then it is Nicholas Green just outside of that top five. Andrew Ogley dropped to seventh at the end, with Eric Orchan in eighth. Steve Webb and Ewan Gunn round out the top 10, with Gerald Werner just behind. Then Ben Gregory just behind him, and Graham Matthew just behind him. Jeremy Horn, David Wang were 1 lap down. William Antonelli and Michał Szczepakowski were 2 laps down. Effectively, flip that on its head and you've got the grid for race number 2.
Yeah, you have to go quick.
And there it is. Well, it's basically the reverse of what I just said. Szczepakowski and, well, yeah, just, you can read it yourself.
It's only because they've got on the grid so quick. There's no time.
Exactly, but I think we can work it out from the race results. So there you go. Wang clearly wants a bit of a rest because he's making everybody else wait. But actually, no, he's not going to be starting at all here. It looks like he's going to go from pit lane if he starts at all. Let's get the lights on and the race underway for race number 2 of the afternoon here at Oulton Park. Szczepakowski from the front, ahead and miles ahead, actually. A great start from him as Antonelli doesn't get a very good one at all.
Oh,
it's a bit very packed up midfield, just like it was in race 1. He's trying to stay out of everybody's way, I think, Antonelli, more than anything else. And there's been a spin for Ewan and Theopanos have also got off the road there. Wang exits the pit lane now right into the pack as well. There's smoke in the background, all sorts going on, but some of the front runners from the last race have made a decent start, like Webb and Green, who are 6th and 7th. Szczepakowski goes off, and Hall now leads the race out of turn 5.
Yeah, Gregory's in there as well. Werner's in there, Webb's in there, and Green. They've all got off the line. Szczepakowski lost it going down into Foster's, unfortunately for Jeremy Hall, who went past him on that one. Looks like David Wang has jumped back to the pits already. I think he might be having some issues. Webb's in the middle with Green. Now, what about the winners from race number 1? Well, Weston is finished in 2nd, and he's up 5 places. Singleton only up 4, so at the moment Weston is in front, but Werner's in there having a nice little ding-dong at the same time. Oh, they were.
Oh, and an incident for Ogley and Theofanopoulos, I'm afraid. Oh, and big damage down there for Theofanopoulos. Oh, dear. Very nearly rejoined right into the path of somebody there. Antonelli decides to come into the pit lane, but it's going to be a very, very lively next few minutes, I've got to say. Still, a lot of the front runners from the opening race have a lot of work to do, but I think Webb and Green have probably done the best in 6th and 7th, although we did see plenty of strong drives further down the field in that opening race as well. It's very unclear at the moment who's quite favourite to take this. Top 8 or 7, I should say, all involved in one long slipstream train.
Yeah, they are at this moment in time. Up through the water tower they go, coming into the right-hander of Druids now. Matthews there sitting in third, the Szczepakowski in front, Gregory behind us. Szczepakowski, of course, we know had a rotten one. It looks like Gregory may have just made a little bit of an error and has dropped down the order. Here goes Matthews now. Is he going to take the inside? He's got to be late. Oh, dearie me, I thought he was going to be late on that one, but Matthews did make it through because Szczepakowski is going to go off the left-hand side. He covers Matthews off. One move. He's up on that one. And into the braking zone we go, and Matthews does go through over Szczepakowski, but it's all going off down here with the guys trying to come through the order.
Yeah, it certainly is. The contact between Singleton and Weston. The top 2 from the opening race have made contact at turn 1. Looked like it was Singleton trying to fire down the inside there, and it just went wrong. This is what happened. Singleton is 2nd in line. I'm not sure this was entirely intentional. Gets to the inside. He's up right over the inside. He cuts the corner, actually, and gets straight into the side of Tom Weston.
Unfortunately for Singleton there, not good. He goes into the side of Weston, and now Weston's going to have to try and fight his way through. Werner, Szczepakowski and Valdez are 3rd, 4th and 5th. They're chasing down Matthews, but Jeremy Hall at the moment doing a great job out in front, come up and up 3 places there as well, and sitting in 1st place. Go Jeremy.
Yep, going all right so far. As out of the final corner they come. Loads of pitters. Ben Gregory is one of them from 7th place, but plenty of team drivers on pit lane at the moment. He's getting some repairs done or whatever. Van Sevius up to 4th place, still now climbing. Werner just ahead of him. And Stupakowski and Warner behind him. Jeffrey's got a bit of damage to the front left of that MX-5 at the moment, but Van Sevius crawling all over the back of him. Look at how he's sidling his way through the field now. Started this race down in 15th place, and he's already made up more than 10 positions in less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, he's done a great job so far. He's fairly in race number 1. He's moving through the order in race number 2. He's done an absolute stellar job. Can he hang that round the outside? He's going to be big and brave. He is big and brave. And Valdez says, well, don't matter where we are, son. I'm going to send it round the outside and I'm going to get it done. Now Valdez is going after Graham Matthews. Is he going to be able to get Jeremy Hall? That's going to be the question. But at the moment, 10 minutes to go, Valdez is looking strong.
Yep, certainly is. Out of the final corner and up the hill. Warner is on the back of Stupakowski, the poster to now, and he's pulling alongside in towards turn number 1. No, can't do it. Warner further on in the background. So Stupakowski holds on, although that's a better run, better line from Warner that time round. And he's going to have a look to the inside, can't quite do it. On the hill they go into Cascades. And he'll have a better line on the exit here. Just gets the apex mark more nicely for Foster's. Can he get? Oh no, can't quite get to the inside for Nicky Rupp, so he's still stuck behind. But imagine it's only a matter of time now before he's into the top 5.
Yeah, he's got to pick his moment now. Stupakowski looks like he is having a little bit of a roller coaster race. He had a rotten race number 1, but he's doing great in race number 2, sitting in 5th place. Warner's got to be careful. Take the inside if you're going to. It's really, really difficult because of the fact of how late Stupakowski is making his moves. I think his defensive moves need to come a lot earlier because it can lead to drama. As you can see, they're going side by side down into turn 1, and Stupakowski's defensive moves need to come earlier. They're almost Max Verstappen-esque when we first saw him into Formula 1, where he made the move really late to defend. The problem is for Stupakowski, he can't keep doing that, otherwise there's going to be contact. But at the moment, Warner made it through and is well on his way to try and make his way forward. But Jeremy Hall, Matthews and Valdez are all very close together, closing that gap down about 1.2 between the 4 of them.
Yeah, I think Van Sevius is still the favourite to win from here, but Jeremy Hall's not going to let that go easily for sure. Graham Matthew as well, who's in the second of the 2, or in the second of the 3 cars, I should say. Now in towards the final corner. It changes for 7th and 9th, by the way, as Singleton and Weston are trying to recover after their crash with each other earlier on. Singleton's back up to 9th now ahead of Nguyen. There they are. And he's got a bit of damage actually, Singleton, because he hit Weston. And there you can see Weston doesn't seem to have a mark on his car, so he's got away with it. But he's up to 7th place. And meanwhile, side by side between Werner and Warner in towards turn 1. Werner holds on to the inside line, but Warner gets the cutback and gets a very nice move down the hill. Yeah,
Stupakowski's going to be tucking in right behind him as well. He's going to try and follow him through. Hold it! No! Oh. That was... I don't really know what to say, to be honest. I think... Oh, somebody's... I'm puffing smoke out somewhere, but Matthews at the moment and Valdez... Oh, they're on the straight!
Dear, Graham Matthews smashes into the wall and he's really damaged there, and Warner has to take avoiding action. Graham Matthews' rear left wheel isn't even attached to the ground anymore. That's a huge smash going up Clay Hill. Graham Matthew and Valdez Van Sevius here crashed on the straight. They've just got connected and Matthews smashes the wall.
Oh man, that is not what we want happening on that one. A, crashing, and B, crashing on a straight is never good in general. So yeah, don't want to be doing that. Werner, Stupakowski and Weston. Weston's managed to get himself up to 8th place. Great recovery drive here at this moment in time. But yeah, very, very difficult for certain. Stupakowski again on the outside. Just needs to be careful. Pick your battles, yes. Pick your battles.
Yeah, I mean, starting to wonder now who is still going to win this race. I mean, Van Sevius clearly wasn't delayed too much there. What is going on here?
Blown his engine. That is a lot of smoke from somewhere.
That was a lot of smoke. Slightly concerning that he might be smoking because of some of that damage. Werner's got a bit of front left damage, and obviously all the radiator and stuff up there. Wonder whether that's playing a role, but I don't know. It seems to have disappeared now. It might just be that gravel again. That there's obviously a new system of iRacing gravel being brought onto the circuit these days, and it looks terrible. I couldn't, to be honest. It's making me so terrible. It's making me choke. Anyway, it makes it look like everyone's blown their engine all the time, when in reality it's just a few gravel pieces that have stones and stuff that have ended on the circuit.
Well, you can see why it's there, to get the realism again. Oh, please don't get involved on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side there. I don't know if that is the number 12 car. That is Graham Matthews. As these guys go round. Oh, no, he's just hit Stabakowski, who's just coming. Oh, no!
Oh, up and over! Werner goes up and over and onto his roof and back down again. The lap car unfortunately did get involved, and it's caused a big smash. Daryl Werner won't have known too much about this unless he was looking in his mirrors, which would be unusual at this time in the corner, to be fair. He runs wide himself, and straight in front of him, Stabukowski obviously was going across the gravel and the grass and back onto the circuit again after contact with the lap car, and unfortunately that has caused the end to Werner's day. He is in pit lane again with less than 5 minutes to go as Vansevius is now in the lead.
Yeah, he's got the lead going down into Druids there. I just come through on the last lap, 4.5 minutes on the clock. I'm not even sure how to decipher that one. I know Matthews come racing out the pit lane, probably might have done well just slowing down and letting him go through. But then there was obviously contact there as well. So, yeah, not ideal.
Particularly ideal, but
no.
But there we go.
Ingleton and Weston are back together though after all of this.
They're fourth and fifth. They are probably disappointed they couldn't quite get back to the lead, because Vansevius has been able to do it, and he was on the podium with them in the opening race. But Joel Singleton showed himself to be the quickest driver in this field today in that first race. He's now looking for a way past Weston here in what is likely going to be the best they can achieve now, just fourth place.
Yeah, because I don't think they're going to get fairly further up the road unless Warner and Hall have some major dramatics. Singleton's looking on the inside. He's in the car number 10, 787 for Weston. Singleton does go through. Weston's now going to try and come back at him if he can. Again, we've got more dust coming off the back part of their car. Weston's going over to the left. Was he going to try the outside through Old Hall? Not this time around, but this could be a great little battle to the end of the race. But the front three are getting very close together again.
Yeah, that's because Warner is catching the two of them, really. I think Vansevius, though, will escape away if Warner and Hall start to fight. Oh, Singleton was out of shape a bit there, in towards the corner. I think it is gravel, by the way. I saw the two of them smoking a bit there as well, so I think it is gravel dust down there at Foster's. I don't know why, because there's no gravel anywhere near, but anyway. Singleton up the hill. Weston gaining in the slipstream here on the way towards Druids. He's going to have a look, is he to the inside line? No, he can't quite do it just for the moment. Now through the double right-hander. There'll be 3 laps to go, by the way, when they get to the line here for Weston to find a way back through.
Yeah, he's got to keep trying and just use that draft as much as possible into the right-hander of Lodge. Get a nice run. Watch the crest of the hill. It can cause problems under acceleration. That's also going to cause an issue for Weston if he's not too careful. Now he's going to look at going up the inside. He's surely going to have this later on the brakes. You got to be late. Not late enough. Singleton still takes that position away and holds on to fourth place. But Warner and Hall have been battling and have dropped away from Valdez by 1.1 seconds. But these guys still fighting out with a minute and a half to go.
Yeah, they certainly are. Just less than 2 minutes. Yeah. So, Warner. Combine the two names. Hall and Warner, I should say, in towards Druids. There's a bit of traffic up ahead here as well, by the way. Not just the overall leader, but there is a little bit more lap traffic as well. That's a good run from Warner out of Druids, and he's going to have a look at the final corner here. Oh no, didn't look down the inside this time round. 2 laps to go though. He's got 2 laps to figure a way through.
Yeah, I thought he was almost going to get there. I thought he was literally going to get there, but he didn't. And he's going to have a go now, coming down into turn number 1 through the left-hander. No, he tucks in again. Warner. I am surprised. Weston and Singleton still going hell to leather further back, and at the moment Weston is still tucked in behind Singleton. So Weston's got to try and do something magical, but Warner and Hall are doing stuff magical and fighting away here at the front for that second and third.
Out of the corner they go into the right-hander of Knickerbrook. It's going to be trouble here for Hall. Warner is going to get the slipstream up the hill, which is very, very powerful indeed on the way towards Druids here. He's poking his nose to the inside but can't find a way through. He was very strong off the final corner last lap. I wonder whether that will be the place, or is it even going to be into the final corner this time, because Hall missed the apex a bit there, and Warner gets a good run into second place, late on the brakes, and a great overtake indeed from Matt Warner, who makes his way through on Hall. Meanwhile, Weston and Singleton are fighting it out. Weston will be thinking, if only I was able to put this much pressure on when we were fighting for the lead about 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, it might have been a different story, but it depends. Obviously, Singleton, by the looks of the car's got damaged on the front right anyway, so whether or not that's affected his pace, this back marker might affect his pace, because that is Antonelli. So Antonelli does remove himself from the equation. These guys continue to fight on. But Valdez has got literally a few more corners to go, and he will take this victory in race number 2. Don't forget about your driver of the day.
Yes. Well, is that to me or
Well, let's discuss it. Who do you think?
Yeah, we'll discuss it after the race,
okay.
That's for sure. Valdez Pensivius, though, it looks like he's going to hold on for the victory. 1.7 second gap over Warner, and it looks like, unless something goes really wrong in this final corner, he is going to gain 14 places in one race and take the victory here in the reverse grid. Round 4 of the Coco Beach Bar Championship here at Oulton Park is going to go to Valdez Pensivius, and what a fantastic drive it was. 14 places gained in just 15 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely stellar drive there as well. Weston is in behind Singleton. Singleton comes over the line, claims that 4th and 5th place. But I think that was a stellar drive from Valdez, and he's got to be on the list for the old driver of the day.
Yeah, he is on my list, but I'll tell you about that in a second.
Okay.
We've done the race results. 8 cars only on the lead lap, such as the problems for many during today's second race. It was a typical reverse grid race, I suppose, wasn't it, really? But you expect a little bit more in the way of incidents to go on, unfortunately, and it did, but it was a good second race as well. It wasn't like the front contenders were totally taken out. We saw some good driving through the field from the likes of Pensivius.
Yeah, it was. It was an MX-5 race. I think that's the only way we can explain it. It was an MX-5 race. There was lots of tingles and tangles and battles and stuff like that, but it did what it said it was going to do. You know, it was a good race, and it put everybody together where it should be. And I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Yep, I thoroughly enjoyed it as well. Valdez Pensivius wins by 1.6 seconds ahead of Matt Warner, with Jeremy Hall in third. Joel Singleton and Tom Weston ran at the top 5, with Andrew Ogley, Jimmy Nguyen and Yanis Theophilopoulos the only others on the lead lap. Then Graham Matthew, the first one lap down, ahead of Nicholas Green, the last in the top 10. David Wang just missed out, with Gerald Verner next. Then Eric Orchin, who was 2 laps down. And Gregory was 3 laps down. William Antonelli was 4 laps down. And Michał Stupakowski, who started on pole, was 5 laps down, with Steve Webb, who retired fairly early on after only a few laps of this race. Do you want me to go first with my candidates for driver of the day?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. I've got 2, so you're more than welcome to one of them. I think obvious, probably the first one, Valdez Pensivius for a podium in the first race and 14 places gained in the second race. I think that's an obvious one, for maybe a bit more of a hipster choice, if you like. Matt Warner, who finished second in that second race, but gained quite a lot of places in the field in race 1 as well, making overtakes right the way to the very end. That put him obviously quite a long way back for race 2 as well, and he gained quite a lot of places to finish on the podium in race 2. So there are my 2 candidates for driver of the day.
They're exactly the same 2 I had written down.
Okay.
I had no different to you, unfortunately, on that one. I don't know. You go with who you think.
I quite like the hipster choice. As bad as I feel for Valdez Pensivius, who's just won a race. from a long way back. I like I like Matt Warner's drives today. I think they've been good. So I would go for him, but there's nothing in it really.
Right, okay, let's have a quick chat. We've got time to have a quick chat with Mr. Matt Warner, who we have voted Driver of the Day. Matt, welcome in.
Hello, mate.
Hello, mate, you all right?
Yeah. Disappointed, honestly, to be honest. I thought I could have done better.
Yeah, but it was a typical MX5 race, wasn't it?
Yeah, and this track as well. So it's narrow. It's really hard to overtake, and also off the start, as you saw, the absolute anarchy there. It's just getting tyres warmed up. It takes 2 or 3 laps, so you've just got to try and keep your nose clean, which is easier said than done, to be honest with you. Like you said, MX5 race. Yeah,
it was. But the good thing for you is you walk away as the commentator's driver of the day.
Oh, thank you. The bribe worked then.
It did, yes, mate. You know what I mean? Don't forget, just a little bit double for next week. All right, on that one.
Oh yeah, I'll stick it in the same place. Brown envelope under the bin.
All right, mate. No worries at all. I'll pick it up when I go out on Friday. On that one. But Matt, well done, son. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Well, first off, I suppose Jack for putting on a really fun league. I've really enjoyed it, and yeah, that's about it. Me, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, just thanks to Jack for putting on a league and everybody else for participating. It's been really fun. And hello to everybody in the bar. Woo, have one on me.
All right, Matt. Take care, bud. Have a good one.
You too, mate.
See you, mate. Bye. Oh, Warner did really well with all the places gained. Yeah, see, that's where we ended up. The bribe worked. Yeah, he did. On that one. It's a good job, I think, from all of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we weren't bribed, by the way, just in case anyone was. Just in case anyone was wondering. So there we go. No, a big well done to him. I do feel a bit bad to not giving it to Valdez Foncivius actually, but we can't give it to everyone, and so we got to pick one. I don't want to pick the race winner every week because I feel like that's just the obvious choice, isn't it? We got to spread the driver of the days around. So maybe next time it'll be race winners. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's hard, isn't it? Because obviously, whoever you're going to pick, you're going to upset somebody. So, it's the way it is. I won the race. Why did I win driver of the day? Yeah, but, never mind. You did well. But I think at the end of the day, we'll get through everybody by the end of the season. We've got a long way to go.
But we have. Just to remind you, of course, we're not here next week. It's the 2-week Christmas break for this series. So from the 5th of January, we'll be back. Make sure you join us for that from about midday UK time. We're at Tsukuba next, then Oulton Park the week after, then Lime Rock Park the week after that, and Okayama is the final race of the season. So still 4 more rounds to go for our driver of the day, and indeed for our couple of races today. But that is just about it from the Coco Beach Bar Championship here for rounds 3 and 4. It's been a pleasure to be along for the first time this season. As I say, we will be having a couple of weeks away, and we'll be back again on the 5th of January. So make sure, is that 3 weeks away, is it? Probably is, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
we'll
be back then for the for the next round of the championship at Tsukuba. I've been Ewan O'Leary alongside James Parfitt, and until we see you after Christmas for rounds 5 and 6 of the Coco Beach Bar Championship by Jack Ashton Racing, it's goodbye for now.
Cool.